listen to me, my people. Listen to me. Let me tell you the story about a greedy hunter. Hey! He passed the oil royal line to the people. Yeah. The people told you are wicked, we never believe it. Now you are proving yourself. Get the people chance, greedy hunter. Right now. If you rock your in the middle of the night, I had a dream. Then I saw Boncante crying. Go and tell my people, I'm crying. Because the leader for the each other. I'm crying so much. Then I wake up in the middle of the night. Then I call my beautiful wife. I say, come for Colette. I had a dream, baby. I saw Bongate crying, say, the leader for the Ishala. Then I call my little son. I said, Jenny, don't suck it. Do not be like the greedy hunter or a riot. Don't be like a good boy. They are all wicked people. Wicked people. Be careful. Now listen to the story. Listen to the story. Hey. Well. Get our chance. 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 He passed the iron royal boasting everywhere. He's a political sucker. Don't mind him. He's a political sucker. Don't lie or riot to the people. Oh, yeah. This young May 2011, they all left from Bon County. Yeah. They went to the parliament to represent Bon County. When they came back on the 17th, many of them fall. Yeah, my people. Those that survived, when they went back in the house, he told his friend, he said, can you please help me to begin the normal assessment of Liberia so that I can bring development? Then I stood by him, he got a job. He was showing one of his friends.
Hey, your man poor hole. Your man poor hole. Your pa asshole. If your man boy you good, go and vote for Thomas Salah. Then we will step in your man, we will step in your pa. Hey, your man poor hole. Your man poor hole. Your pa asshole. If your man boy you good, go and vote for Thomas Salah. Then we will step in your man, we will step in your pa. My
La vie à l'anyway. Papa good night. Papa l'anyway. Papa good night.
Flash and
blood. He is with us, and one of the allies. He have come to share with us one of the secret, something about the Weah government. Chairman Wesseh, he has been called by many of his colleagues. He is here. Flesh and blood, I mean. Chairman Wesseh will be driving us through the synopsis of President Weah government. Don't miss it. Share this page. Like the page. Because the discussion here this morning or this afternoon, whatever you find yourself, it will be quite more interesting. The chairman service here. Because the chairman service here. And once a chairman is always a chairman. We'll be back in a minute. I would say a condolence to our chairman for him losing, for his loss of his mother. Chairman, we are sorry to say to you our condolence to you on behalf of this talk show, the magnificent Abraka talk show. We want to extend our condolences to you and your family for the loss of your mother. You know, I know she was a supporting arm to you. So I hope you take it into greater satisfaction.
Yes, thank you, Mwazi Ibrahim Kamara. It's a huge pleasure, you know, mounting a podium. I know you've been like wanting me to appear like this for several months, you know, except that I was trying to find a good time to do so. And yes, I lost my mom, and she was buried on Wednesday. I am very hopeful she is having perpetual rest with our good Lord and Savior. But thank you once more.
Okay. Back to the issue. You know, I'm interested in knowing you. For the past time, I have been seeing you in line with Josh Weah, in supporting him with him. But this few days and a few times, I kind of see you addressed, but what really went wrong?
Oh, well, I have been asked this question several times, and you know, how I wish those posing the question will really understand the kind of a person I have been. Let me be very frank with you. I'm no saint, okay? I'm not claiming righteousness, but I am a man who is committed to the details of his conscience. What do I mean? When setting, you know, principles and ideals, you know, asymmetrically differ from my own basic set principles. And when setting things or setting a philosophy run unparalleled to my philosophy, then I would just see reason to, to differ. It is like, let us put it this way. Let me employ this analogy, because even the president himself, at a point in time, I remember he employed this analogy. Let us take it that we were boarding a bus or a taxi from Broad and Randall in Monrovia, headed for red light, and we are going by route of the Tokma Boulevard, meaning we're not going by the Somalia Drive. If this vehicle that is conveying us to red light gets to ELWA junction and decides to divert to the ELWA road, which seems to be going towards the RIA, it means the initial plan of being taken to red light was being aborted. And what is advisable as a conscious young person is to disembark from the vehicle, because the vehicle now is headed a direction that wasn't initially decided. If you don't disembark and the vehicle goes and crashes or anything happens eventually, you have yourself to blame. So what I would just say in a nutshell, President Weah is my good friend, and some of us made the case for his presidency when it seemed impossible. When a lot of people who today we think is inner circle, doubted he would become president, we made the case. We sold him. When people thought he was a kind of a bad product, we made the product a kind of a demanding product, and today he is president, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I feel, let's say from the details of my conscience, that are those basic ideals, those basic principles upon which our quest to see this man become president, are being like undermined or are being deviated from, as a conscious young man, I will see reason to part ways. I think that is what is really happening, without any, bitterness, without any hard feelings. I thought the person that I voted for to become president in Liberia, has been, manipulated, has been polluted, and I've tried several times to call him to attention, and he doesn't seem to be listening. I don't know what's responsible. So I will feel that I will just continue to highlight the ills in his governance, and I will commend the good things he does. But on the overall, what I thought he would do is to be a good president. So anything on the contrary disappoints me.
You are saying he has been manipulated. that doesn't cease to be President Weah. President Weah have not been manipulated. He has just been shown his real color, because this man asserted from the beginning that this man was going to be a dictator, and we can see a clear role being a dictator. We can see a clear role of chasing a little girls. We can see a clear role of this man doing things in the country that no other president have ever done.
Yes, great. And that is, one of the several disappointments I have. When you say, he is behaving like a dictator, I tend to agree that he is gradually grooming into a dictator. And as for his social life, and let me be very frank on this, as for his social life, as despicable it might really seem to people, I don't give credence to that. The reason why I don't give credence to that is I'm more concerned with more pressing issues that tend to affect
the life of the Liberian people.
So whether he wants to sleep with, because I was listening to one recording the other day about two women, having force, and that went viral when the other was, referring to the president in such a demeaning manner, referring to him as the fucking president. Oh, I was mourning, and I was like, are you kidding me? Lady discussing the president of a nation, because of her bitterness, and we just refer to him in every reckless manner. But again, our Liberian people have a saying. They say, if you don't cook yourself, if you cook yourself in a tomato cup,
They were discharged with a broomstick.
Okay, great. So that is his own personal life. I don't want to delve into that. I just want to take my time to really delve into trending national issues since his ascendancy, where we are, and what is the future of Liberia as far as our body politics is concerned.
But that what was coming to our next questions is: do you think, Honor President Weah, where the country is, and do you think our Liberian brothers and sisters, they are living better than they were living 2 or 3 years ago?
Oh no, and I want to be brutally frank about this because you see, one of the reasons I supported George for president is because, let me say President George Weah, is because I had an opportunity to sit with him several times, and I was privileged to ask him why does he want to become president, and he convinced me by his reasons, and I had hoped that now that he became president, because let me be very clear, I did not support Weah for president 2017, and I also, there is no record of me campaigning against him 2017. I was just clear that I could not subscribe to the coalition he went into. Okay, and let me quickly tell you why. You see, look, the Congress for Democratic Change, whose ideas and philosophy are actually, believed in, was a grassroots, masses-driven political party that sought to lift the ordinary people from the dungeon of abject poverty to the level of economic sufficiency. It was a political arrangement that sought to, engage in a robust fight against corruption and hold people accountable. It was a party that vowed to bring people to account for crimes, mayhem and atrocities they committed in that country, taking advantage of the Liberian Civil War. And those are the values that attracted me to supporting, George Weah for president, because he is the political leader of the Congress for Democratic Change and now the Coalition for Democratic Change. But here is my disappointment. Let us look at the lives or the living conditions of the ordinary Liberians since President Weah ascended to power. Now, I will hear people say, oh, but he inherited, a bad economy. Oh, he needs time. Give the president time. The mayor has just started. Madam Salif messed the country up. Look. I'm not going to lend currency to those excuses. You know why? They are flimsy excuses. I call them flimsy excuses because, number one, if President Weah was really sure he inherited a bad economy, as per his own assertion, then it bothers me when during the elections he was questioned about grading the Madam Salif led government. And what did he say?
In grade 80%.
8 over 10. 8 over 10 in every grading is a very good mark. So then I see some level of falsehood in his claim of inheriting a broken economy. Fast forward, when he became president and cried that he inherited a bad economy, Madam Salif came back to say, hey, no, I left a good sum of money in the Liberian people's coffers.
50 million.
And ever since she said that, he has not come back to rebut her statement. So then I find it very difficult to believe what he is saying. Another thing is, if you came on the matter of change for hope, as was carved, how come you who is really focused on changing the lives or improving the lives of the ordinary people, with just in a space of less than 4 months in office, you started erecting structures,
49 buildings,
assets here and there, and then your subordinates or your cabinet started following suit. Just look at the unimaginable way people are acquiring assets in that country. My brother, look, it is so alarming, and it brings one to question, is this the change that we yearned for? And many will ask, but why Franklin Wesseh, we know you to be, a good friend of President Weah's. We know you to be a person who voiced for President Weah. Why didn't you stand up for him in 2017? Look, let me say this to you. I knew that the Coalition for Democratic Change was a bunch of politicians coming together with a very selfish agenda rooted in avarice and rapaciousness, greed. Here is the Congress for Democratic Change that led the campaign that ousted Speaker Alex Tyler on grounds of being corrupt, morally bankrupt, to preside over his colleagues at the time as Speaker. I remember the likes of Honorable Akaros Gray, now senatorial, aspirant Thomas Fowler. May peace be upon her ashes, my dear little sister Muna Pena Youngblood. And my good friend Julius Berrien. Those are the guys from the angle of the CDC that were heralding the ouster of Speaker Tyler on grounds that he lacked the moral rectitude to preside over them. But guess what happened? This is the same Speaker Tyler who had not been exonerated, who founded a political party called the LPDP, with the indictment hanging over him. The CDC opened its corridors and went into a political marriage with this political party. And you expect a Franklin Wesseh to muster the courage to find the moral grounds to stand on and sell such a ticket? The National Patriotic Party of Liberia is a political party without any disrespect to individual members. But that party has a history. The history of the party is not an encouraging history. It is disdainful. It is disdainful in that even though you may have your reservation about former President Taylor being, in The Hague or blah blah blah. But here's the truth. The truth is, you had the former president of the Republic of Liberia, standard bearer then of the National Patriotic Party, serving almost 50 years in prison. Why? On grounds that he aided and abetted war in other countries. And then we are also present to the many forms of atrocities and mayhem the rebel factions committed in that country, not limited to only NPP, right? But you look at that and you claim to be a leader who is bringing a change, the desired change, and you're going into marriage with those political parties. I took exception to that. And I was in the States 2017, when I came for the landmark training. When I returned to the country, I had, sought, audience with my friend to register my dissatisfaction, or if you may like, my reservation about the kind of a marriage he was going into. He couldn't grant me audience. And so what I just decided to do was to remain tight-lipped about 2017. But here's the thing. Do you think I didn't know that President George Weah or the CDC would have won 2017 elections? Yes, I knew. You know why? Because change was just imminent. It was just inevitable. Okay, I was one of the arguers of one of the progenitors of this idea that we should not allow one political party to spend more than 2 consecutive terms in power, because we could be reliving, the dark days of the oligarchy. I hate to say the Congo hegemony, but the history of the TWP, the True Party. That is how they got so rooted in our body politics that you could not easily get rid of them. So I was not supporting Unity Party in the 2017 elections. And obviously, the CDC that I had wanted to support was, treading, or taking a different way. And so I decided to back off. I knew CDC would win. And that is why when CDC won, I never availed myself to anybody, not to the president, not to all of his subordinates, for a job. I sat in that country until when I felt that my security, was at stake because of my advocacy for the War and Economic Crimes Code. I decided to leave the country. Okay? So, to answer to your question about whether he's living up to expectation, I will tell you that the Weah's administration is failing. I'm not one of those who will say it has failed. And those who are saying that it has failed, they have got their reasons, because if you look at it critically, he was elected for 6 years. And we are just about entering the 3rd year or completing the 3rd year of his administration.
We are about to enter in the 4th years.
Great. What has changed? So what will you have to do in the remaining 2 years when your concentration will be, trying to campaign? Not much we can do in the remaining 2 years. Not much. And people will sit and like, oh, the man is building roads, the man build, low housing, estates, and blah blah blah. He's doing road connectivity. Let me tell you that the basic wrong that has overshadowed all of what Weah is doing, for which people can appreciate him, is that first of all, you said Madam Salif government was corrupt. You sang in one chorus all the days of Madam Salif's administration, how she was corrupt, and left the country broke. When you took over,
You failed to bring the woman to book.
You could not order this woman. So who's saying the truth here? Right? Now you came back, you said you'll be robust against corruption. You had a situation of quote unquote missing billions, and blah 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 in Liberia, and the 25 million, how you call it, 25 million mopping, exercise, with money expended being questionable. You arrested people, took few of them to Salt Beach. What has become of that? What has become of that? You are on record, Mr. President. 1994, when you want to disarm child soldiers, you said those who put arms in the hands of these kids must be brought to justice. Today, the gavel of authority is in your hand, and you playing deaf ears, you playing blind eyes. I know he should be coming for the UN General Assembly.
That's the only thing that the president can cover, because the president coming here to this country, the president cannot come here all by himself like in coming for a visit to a White House, because the White House will never, Honored President Donald Trump will never send him invitations.
Okay.
Because first of all, when the mayor coming to the UN General Assembly, he is been given a restricted visa.
Wow.
He has been given a restricted visa.
Wow.
And secondly, look, the new ambassador, remember this ambassador was the ambassador in Burkina Faso. This new ambassador that they sent to Liberia,
okay,
he was the ambassador in Burkina Faso. And we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to Liberia, when the American people want to take drastic actions against the government, they will send ex-general as ambassador.
Wow.
That what happened during Charles Taylor time. They send the ex-general again there as the ambassador. During those time, they send the ex-general again there as ambassador.
Wow.
So those are things that I don't think this government is clearly picking.
You're making some sense here. And here is it, Mazi. Look, quite frankly, I was telling people, you see, governance is not as difficult as people perceive it. Today, if you had an opportunity to become president of Liberia, here is what you must seek to do: to leave a legacy. Because I hear citizens bragging and boasting about 12 years. Even if you have 12 years of rule, what legacy are you leaving that tomorrow people can reference? Here is it. I know you want to come in. Let me just say this, that is noteworthy. The reason why we are like drowning and impoverished is just simple. We don't seem to want to do the right things. You are not honestly fighting corruption. Your fight against corruption is just like a flash in the pan. Your investment environment is poor, is sickening, it is not encouraging. How do you think people will want to bring the money to invest in your country? Look at the way investors are leaving your country. Isn't that alarming? What more do you want to see happen that will bring it to attention?
First thing first, I hear the government boasting about a new MP. I see the government boasting. They are putting pictures up. But here is the truth about that MPA building. Do you know that MPA building was started, the construction under Madam Salif their government? That building was being constructed by the Kuwait government.
Okay.
That building had been constructed by the Kuwait government. The Kuwait government came to our country. They felt to themselves that in order for them to get a diplomatic strong tie to Liberia, there is a need for them to build.
Okay.
So the decision they are acting is to say that building, it was them that started that building up. And it was them that finished that building. So the glory down to Kalasco, my own brother Kalasco, he had been taking pictures, putting it on Facebook, at the end to say that building it had been built during President Weah administration.
Okay. So you see, look, here is it. Mazi, I will have to take off this shades a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Look, my brother, sometimes we really don't know what to lend currency to. What do I mean? A government constructs a building on behalf of a corporation or an agency or whatever. That's no big news. That is not anything you should be like, you should be like blowing here and there. But to just correct something here, Madam Salif, it is like, government is continuity. Let me just put it this way. If Mwazi Kamara was president and has some blueprints, he did a few things and left some blueprints, and Franklin Wesseh succeeded him, and implemented what you left. What is usually done is, I who complete the project take the credit because it's my administration. And that is how it is always done, without any discredit to you as succeeded. But the way our guys make it to look like, they disregard
Madam Salif,
the predecessor, and they are just kind of like focused on the current. But that is their business. Look, I don't care about that. What I'm saying, the CDC-led government must disengage from that posture, that attitude of being an opposition political party like they used to be, and live with the reality that they are a ruling establishment and must conduct themselves, in accordance with the dictates of being a ruling establishment. You cannot be like create animated every time people try to critique your government. And let me tell you one thing they do. I laughed. I was struck by Corona in April, my brother. I think I told you that. And I almost died. Thank God he spared my life. Also than to be told that some, if not most, of the young people that are in high public offices in this administration are people that are groomed. You know that? That went through the walls of the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions.
Yes.
Let me tell you what has been happening. Ever since I started being like critical of the regime or the administration, these guys, like they will behave to other people. Some of them, not all of them necessarily, have decided to avoid me. And when I say avoid me, they avoid everything about me, even if it meant I was dying.
Chairmen.
When I got sick, I was not getting that empathy from them. And and some of them, even if you did a post of, oh, I'm not well, I'm sick, they find that you are critical of government. Do you know what they do? Instead of coming under that post to wish you speedy recovery, they will go in your inbox because they don't want their other colleagues to know that they are empathizing with you. That's how bad and extreme these guys have gone. I lost my mom. And I had about 3 different posts on Facebook. I'm not asking anybody for money. I've never asked any of them for money. But here's the thing. What has happened to that brotherhood, that friendship? To even say, look, let me place a call into Chairmen Wesseh. Oh, Chairman, my condolence. A few of them came under my post expressing condolences, and I was watching those who were doing that. The mean ones who I expect will express same, they not bother to do so, they not care to call me, they not even go to my inbox. What is that? What level of extremism is that? But anyway, I would just say these things make some of us stronger. I have never been in government. I have never had a government job. If you want to be vindictive and you have anger and distaste against people, you're supposed to be expressing that against people who, in your mind, were in the past leadership or administration. But on the overall, what I would just say is that our guys don't like to be told the truth. And it beats my imagination that these guys will be behaving like this because I expect them to have a thick skin. These are the people who use advocacy, criticism to ascend to power today.
In fact, that's one thing that get me annoyed and it get me laughing. It is this same government that took Madame Salif painting, Madame Salif on her clothes. They put cool water on it and put it up for 12 good years. Those were the same guys that took Madame Salif clear stick. But guess what? During the era of the election, they were the same guys singing praise and worship song to Madame Salif.
Yeah, that's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. Look, sometimes I wonder, and trust me, even all of us that call ourselves activists, advocates, talk show hosts, political commentators, and what have you, I ask, how sure am I that a Moise Kamara will ascend to power and make a difference? And that has led to my reason to be proud, and we'll come to that, of supporting Senator Abraham Darros Dillon. Because you have got to be that example, right? Yesteryears, you were in the streets calling for war and economic crimes code, or quote unquote, the full implementation of the TRC recommendations. Today, you see that as an advocacy that is intended to undermine your administration or prevent your succession plan because you want to go for a second term and you feel that when you grab the warlords who are from vote-rich counties, there are people who vent their spleen, their anger against you by not voting you. That is a selfish political motive. Your interest is not to perpetuate yourself into power. If even you are to serve for a term, just serve in a way that you leave a legacy that you'll be remembered.
Honorable Yeke Kolba said something, and I since believe it. Honorable Yeke Kolba said the reason why Welcome Code will not come to Liberia now is because the president supported them during Model. He said that President Weah sponsored them to buy arms in the army nations. So when the Welcome Code comes today, he himself will be indicted.
Okay.
So that is the main reason why the president want to establish a war crime code. At the time he was in oppositions, he found it necessary for him to speak about that. But now he has come to power. President Weah will not establish a war crime code.
And as if assuming but not admitting that what you're saying is true, right? It beats my imagination once more to see that under a Weah-led government, we cannot hold people accountable for the acts of atrocities, the acts of mayhem, the economic crimes they committed in that country, taking advantage of the Liberian Civil War. This man was or has been perceived as a peace icon. President Weah, in my mind, is being seen as a person without blemish. He doesn't have any stigma in that country that you can trace him to before becoming president. What Honorable Korba is saying is something that if the time comes that he should be able to prove before a competent court of jurisdiction. The reason I'm saying that, my brother, it is not easy to prove issues of war crimes because to say this man ain't no committed war crimes, you must be able to establish through maybe like photos and videos that this person really held gun and did XYZ. But that will be for the court to determine. But what I'm trying to say, for me, I see that in addition to what you're saying, one of the main reasons why this government is shying away from the full implementation of the TRC recommendations or the establishment of War Crimes Code is simply because this government has a selfish political motive. This government is more concerned, with succeeding itself, in 2023 than holding people accountable. That is why you see issues of corruption and other stuff are being swept under the carpet and they're just being treated lackadaisically, right? You have a situation where people were taken to court for acts of corruption. Another man gets up because he is the son of the former president, and because the former president actually, presented the presidency to you on a golden platter, you don't have the balls to press further. What are we really doing as a people? And the only thing you want to do is anybody who is at the let's say the level of leadership in the country wanted to make a difference, like the case is with my good friend Daros Delon. You have problem with that kind of a person. You don't just want to do the right thing. You have violated our laws unprecedentedly. The same things you condemned yesterday. That's my frustration, Abraham. Look, I'm not interested in a job in government. I've never worked in government, my brother. I don't care about that. If I wanted a job from this administration, I would have stayed in Liberia and even availed myself to President Weah. He's my friend. I have his number. If he is honest to himself, I have never asked him for a job. I just want him to do the right thing. I used to do open letters to him. People talk to me, look, the men are your men, try to go in his inbox and what have you. So what I started doing, when I do a communication, I send it to his WhatsApp. But there was one time I grew so impatient, and that is your invite is so timely. It is coinciding with his coming to America again for the same UN General Assembly. You remember what the president said at that assembly? He was rallying the support of international community to help him because his people are asking for a war crimes court. He expects people to... When a president landed in Monrovia, right at RIA, and the journalists in their ecstatic mood going to meet the president to see whether he would have reiterated what he said at the UN General Assembly. You saw how he shoved them off in a remark such as, I never call for a war crime code, I call for a war crime code. And how he spoke to the journalists. Meaning, I just said what I wanted to say over there to create some impression. I get time for your war crime code business. And that is evidenced in the utterances of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. One of my biggest disappointments, that big brother is somebody I have known over the years. And I know at a point in time I vouched for him. Today he is Speaker of the country and he has deviated so unimaginably from the very, very norms and good ethics we knew him for. He said it when he addressed members of the traditional council, or religious council at the time. Then I was in Liberia. You know what? He was clear about war crimes code. The Speaker, after we had petitioned the legislature, the citizens' action, the Speaker said, and the case was in committee room. The man just came up and said he will not affix his signature to retributive justice. Retributive justice is what we call for war crimes.
Yeah.
He will only affix his signature to restorative justice. The Palabahot dialogue and blah, 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 blah. That statement undermined the outcome of the petition that was in the committee room. Till today, what has come out of that particular petition? You know how many justice marches we had in that country? And people started referring to us as opposition because as soon as you say, look, this is not right, you ought to do it right, you are an opposition. The next thing, you are coming sponsored. The next thing, they will say you are suffering post-electoral trauma. And another thing, they start calling you names. And these are people who and you actually are from the same orientation, the same background of advocacy. They now find themselves at the helm of affairs, and everything they stood for yesterday, they go against today. Where are we headed? This is just quite frustrating. Now happening in Liberia, we're having elections coming, let's say December, senatorial elections. The voter roll is so messy.
Messy.
So messy. People are trucking people from neighboring countries to Liberia to come and register in county like Cape Mount, Lofa. The voter roll is not credible. How do you go to elections? These are things that bring about post-electoral violence. And then you have another situation again, another important thing that, Mazi, I don't know whether you have. We're saying that we're going for a referendum. Who's going for a referendum? The Liberian people. What is the population of the Liberian people? That population was determined since 2008. And our constitution is clear about census.
Should be every 10 years.
So we are now in 2020, 2 years more than the benchmark. So if you are going to referendum, to go for referendum or census, let me just paint a clear picture of what this essence of a census. The census will be able to determine the population of the country. It will be able to determine the sex of the population. It will be able to determine the youth of the population. It will be able to determine, the elders. That's through a census, you get to know what you are working with. So what data do you have to go to a referendum? How many of us seen this? I see the president throwing propositions, or the whoever or the legislature throwing propositions out there, and people should go to referendum. So these things, you came, instead of correcting them, you are doing them even worse, or even mastering them. That is what I said, from worse to ridiculous. Because we're not getting any better. You think tomorrow it is the roads that you build, the community roads you build, or the road connectivity that you will have in the various counties that will speak for you, or the NPA building you erected over there. You think that's, what's happening? Another disappointing thing the president did, that I was like, let me just leave this, because when you say these things, our brothers don't understand. How can you have issue of rape on the increase in your country when everybody was running helter-skelter about rape? Right in that time, a video is leaked about you making music for beauty pageant. I mean, no serious president should be doing this. Nobody is stopping.
No president that I know in West Africa, not even Africa, in West Africa, that would do such a alarming.
So if it is a form of recreation, because I know he's somebody who enjoys singing besides playing soccer, must it be to the level of making a music that will serve on the national stage? How does your music for Miss Earth positively affect the lives of your people you govern? How? Or is it about, everything the president does, people have issues? People have issues. This president is expected to do well. And the reason why I'm blaming, him being influenced by his inner circle is that look at the president's kitchen cabinet. Who are those there? You know them. You know them by names. Yeah. These are people who have distinction in money eating. People who have thrown this country way back as a result of corrupting the system and depriving the ordinary people of the just benefits. These are the kind of people giving this man advice.
With Emmanuel Shaw.
Imagine, I can remember what beginning they said, that man sued Liberia.
Yeah, the man sued Liberia. The man sued Liberia. The man sued Liberia, and because of that, the plane was awarded to him, and he sold the plane.
Okay, so I mean, what I'm just saying.
Why Mr. Bernard?
Oh shit, So you agree with me, my brother, that this man is actually gradually losing track of his origin, of his background, where he came from.
Okay, now listen to the clip, and I want for you to tell me your take on it.
Yes. My leg up here and rise, I tell you. My leg up here and my leg up here and rise, I tell you. What's that? What's that? What's going on? You did somebody level here? You did somebody level here? Who level were you? You did the way you level you did the way you level upon now, Loki. You have become a bullet guy or slave to upon. I can never be a slave. What's wrong with you? You can want dictator that passing around making music. You call yourself president, irresponsible, and a looter, a criminal president. Ambassador, we are a criminal, you're a criminal president. What's wrong with you? Can't talk about sign and we'll get rules here. We'll get rules here because before we get liberated in the Brembo. We'll get rules here and liberated in the Brembo.
We're in the restroom.
Hello?
In the restroom.
I said,
Yeah.
This is a noise. Cease at
No, we're not ceasing noise issue. We are third session, we are in session now, and it's been disrupted. He has to go.
Why you got disrupting? They make disrupting my left, you can't talk about that. Who they disrupting, you see? When people taking call like me, now they're disrupting to me as a honorable man. I'm not saying that to you. But because you become a bullet guy and a slave to a bomb, that's why you behaving the way you behaving.
You don't desecrate this house.
Why you they got husband for being desecrated? They have been desecrated by you. They have been desecrated by you. Because the people have been desecrated by you.
You have to go out.
The thing I believe you, I believe people are calling themselves sitting in the because they have become bullet guy and slave to you. Rules on administration. Rules on administration. Look at you. All the time you talk, people have respect for you. All the time you talk anytime. All the time you talk anytime, people have respect for you. Nobody have respect for you. You lost of respect in the country for what you want. You have lost of respect. You have lost of respect. What you concern the gas station here? The gas station here. The gas station here. What you concern is stealing the proper money. You.
You have to go out.
Look at you. You are disgraced. You are disgraced, Papa Chima. Papa Chima, you are disgraced. You are disgraced. You are dictator.
Thank you.
They were stupid to all appoint a president here. Open some door.
Colleagues, I don't think this can be confidence.
Why you not confidence? What will you do? What will you do? What can you do? My parents are because of my body is slave than you. Embarrassment than you, Papa Chima. You are embarrassment and disgrace to the country. Look at you.
We have rules in this house.
Everything that can put a ras in my left. I don't position.
What do you make of that statement from Honorable Yeke Paulo Kolba?
It is so hilarious. It is so disappointing. You know, I'm one person who don't believe that the way to engage issues is by being insolent or rude. However, Honorable Yeke Koluba has gotten to a point now where he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't care.
Yeah.
He is so frustrated by the fact that he is living under threat. And the Speaker of the House has got to understand that he must conduct himself in a way that he will be seen as first amongst equals. They are all representatives over there. The position he holds as Speaker, it is his colleagues that made him, right? He is Speaker of the House of Representatives. He should not be a Speaker for the President. I'm making a point here. I don't know if you're getting it.
No, I'm getting it.
You do not continue to suppress one young man, suppress his thoughts, intimidate him, deprive him of his rights every time you go to session only because of his critical stance.
As getting critical information that Honorable Yeke Kolba allowance and his money have not been given.
You
to
see,
him.
so you frustrate him, you strangulate him. Besides, there have been personal and physical attack to his life. His personal security is at stake. As we speak, man, I mean, I just get this picture. This young man's family is not in the country. He managed to sneak his family out of the country because of the same reason. You continue to strangulate, suppress, intimidate. The only thing he's got to do is to bust up in the kind of a frustration that you're seeing. So as a leader of the house, what you are supposed to do the security of each member of the House of Representatives is supposed to be your priority as Speaker. Have you really, called this man to a kind of a sitting? Have you sat with him one-on-one or set up a particular committee to sit with him to really know what his problems are and what actually his frustration is, and to ensure that you provide equal security as you are providing for other partisan, representatives in the House? When people challenge the system, when people erect the necessary checkpoints, this is how often they are being perceived by the ruling establishment. And I'm not missing my words on this. Today you have Senator Darius Dillon, who in less than a year entered that Senate and has shed light
And in
the
fact,
Senate.
And in fact, the Wabadigi case.
I'm coming to that.
I never knew that this man was confirmed by the same house at the time Abraham Darius was not there.
Oh, did they confirm him?
They confirmed him as LACC boss.
Great.
At the time, Abraham Darius was not there.
Sure.
But upon Abraham Darius coming,
Yeah.
the president appointed him as to be National Election Commission chair.
Sure.
That was the time.
The necessary checkpoint was erected. And now, here is another unseriousness on the part of President Weah. This president needs to tell us, what personal interest does he have in Nuadibutke in the BC? This man who is on record to have deceived our judiciary, to have lied to the Liberian people about his date of birth, his nationality. You still have him presiding as a head of an anti-graft institution. I saw it a few days ago. He organized a program on anti-graft and extended an invitation to the Liberian Bar Association. I really must salute the courage of the Liberian Bar Association. We have men in that country. It's just that some people don't want to muster the courage to stand up. Everybody is just concerned about enriching himself. Look, Kamara, if you look at why people are craving so badly to be in government,
you have it on about Tewon Gongro. Then you talking say muster courage.
That is why that, sorry to say old man, but that honorable man is an eminent citizen. I respect Councillor Gonglo. Look, he is a person that I can really vouch for even in my sleep. That is the extent to which I trust him. We must have people that will stand up and challenge the status quo. Go are the days.
It was the same Tewon Gonglo who challenged Madam Ellen Justice Salif.
Yes.
And said you can take your job.
Take the job when she instituted that compulsory leave. The man said, Madam President, this is against international best practice. If you want to get at any of us, you get out, you are the president. You can't ask about to go on compulsory leave. Where have you seen that happen? And then in that shame, she recalled some of them, and then she did some reshuffle rather, and then she told Councillor Gonglo to go to the telecommunications there.
Yeah.
No, post and telecommunication. They may say, I'm a man of litigation. What you carry me to go do with mills and other stuff, you can have a job. He proved his manhood. Today, in our country, look at this example. You have a man whose record is amputated as a result of the lies he told to the Liberian people. When you got to know as a president, a man who is sincere and honest about fighting corruption, you still have Nwadi Butke and Undibisi over there as LACC boss, as if we don't have Liberians with that legal mind to occupy the position. That is a gross disrespect and disregard to the Liberian people. Like come on, you can go to places. I don't freaking care. In as much as this guy will do what I want him to do. Honorable Darius Dillon came to the Senate, right? The man said, look, not only will I declare my asset, I will declare my asset and publish my asset. And again, I am saying 5,000 United States dollars is supposed to be enough to take care of me for a month. The balance should go into an escrow account so that other county projects can be, that is bad thing that man did. If you ask citizens today why you want to quote unquote reclaim your birthright, your Maserati, because that's how they refer to it now. We want to reclaim our county.
But
they will only tell you that. They will only tell you that, my man, we want to reclaim our county. That's our country. We want to reclaim it. None of them will be able to tell you, look, this is what DeLon did that is wrong. This is what he is doing that is wrong, that is not good for the Liberian people. But in as much as what DeLon is doing is undermining their own objective, they take issues. And so DeLon is a bad person. So you have Thomas Fowler. Look, I don't want to go into public officials who are not supposed to be campaigning or canvassing and doing so, because that is a violation of our code of conduct.
Yeah.
But do you know why you can't hold them now? Let me share that with you. Because the only entity that can declare campaign open in that country is the National Elections Commission. Outside of that, all of what people are doing is perceived to be bluff and not campaign, even though realistically they are governance in support. But under our laws, right, the Elections Commission has not declared elections open, so they can. But here is my fear. What they are even doing now, they will continue to do up to the point that campaign will be declared. You will still see the same actors going into the communities and campaigning and canvassing and using government utilities. Imagine Thomas Fowler going in communities with money in wheelbarrows, sharing to people. Sharing to people. When did you know you were supposed to do that? Are you telling us you didn't have that money? You were representative for 15 years. You are, in fact, not where, because even if he loses as a senator, he still comes back as a representative. 15 years. When did you put people in line to be distributing money amongst them? So you see the sinister motive? You take our people for granted. You insult them. You abuse them. You treat them with contempt because you want them to go in the rain, in the shine to vote you. You line them up and share money amongst them. You go to communities or places you never used to go to say you're giving food and rest. The CDC that you and I know, anything that had to do with Maserati from 2005 was never a thing that CDC had to struggle with. You know why? Mm-hmm. Because the people believed in mass crisis. They believed in the struggle. And now I can tell citizens to be sitting and bragging that CDC is your stronghold. There's something you're missing here. That place has been a stronghold of opposition because Maserati is a conglomeration of all of the ethnic groupings. People from all counties are in Maserati. That is why Maserati is that populated. And there are more conscious people in Maserati than there are in all of the other counties combined. You get the logic here?
Yeah.
So anytime it is coming to like elections or stuff, the consciousness of the people can erupt. And people will always take the side of the masses. That is why elections have been going the way they went. But let us take for an example. President Weah became president 2017, right? Inaugurated 2018. Right after that, he went and held people's hands in elections. For an example, Color Green flocked the other fellow in District 13 there, and they had to struggle by the teeth to win in District 15. That was the law. You became president. In just 2 years of your presidency, your quote-unquote stronghold was massively taken from you like that. The excuse now is that, citizens didn't turn out to vote. So you know what they're struggling to do now? And that's why I keep telling people, if you know you don't believe that these people are doing the right thing, stop turning up for their rallies, their assemblies, and for the small money they're sharing. Because when you assemble in that number, or in those numbers, tomorrow their argument will be, look, how could you say election was rigged? Look at when Thomas Fowler went here. Look at when Thomas Fowler went here. Kamara, you understanding the sense I'm making here?
Yeah,
so our people have got to live with that hunger and step up for a cause if they really want a difference. If we had just 6 of 6 or 10 of Darius Dillon at the level of the Senate. Let me tell you what will happen. Bogus consensus will not be passed. People will not be confirmed, that are not supposed to be confirmed.
Since Abraham Darius didn't went to the Senate, there had not been no book of consensus.
The guys are jectory. The guys are having discussions in cliques. Look at. So I come forget it. That's how they see Delona. They kind of this guy is embarrassing us. Our part of time as a senator, we're not enjoying. They may just exposing everything to the people. But again, this is the kind of a leadership we've yearned for over the years.
But let me play you a clip, and then you can get me your idea.
Morning. What about you look too serious today. You have a lot of bodyguards around you. What's going on, sir?
I'm a serious person. I recruited seditious to become a bodyguard. Yes.
What do you mean?
I recruited seditious to become a bodyguard.
Of course.
Yeah.
We got information that your bodyguard, your personal security assigned to you, has been jailed. For what reason, sir? You want to tell us?
Yeah. Sometime last week morning, there was a situation where the commander of Zone 3 and the EO of Zone 3 brought my former bodyguards, surrounded me and took away one of my security and brutalized him. When you go to the police station right now, you will see a lot of marks on him. So they asked me to send him to the police station for investigation. When he got there yesterday, he was placed behind bars with all the bruises on him. So they will transfer the case to the court. We will go before one of the bodyguards to this president, Joma Jada, the magistrate judge.
You invented the charge?
Yeah.
Bodyguard to the president?
Yeah. He a bodyguard to the president.
Serious allegation.
What you call serious allegation? When somebody going on post say you're serious, you're not looking at his action, you're not looking at his attitude. Look, let me say this. This is not going to deter me. We understand that people have said to the CPP that Yeke is a troublemaker, you don't follow him. That is why you see the leadership of the CPP are trying to distance themselves from me. But we are getting ready to form a movement that will liberate, liberate people. And that movement could turn into a political party.
You gotta be joking.
What you call joking? That movement could turn into a political party.
You want to give out a gist of that movement?
No, I'm not going to do that now. They'll be having people to speak for the movement. I can assure you that start January, we're going to have a movement that will liberate people. Look, we're not going to have.
So what happened to the dream of the CPP?
I don't know. As a CPP, no. Let me say. I'm not close to the authority to discuss the CPP or to discuss the COP. I am saying, liberal need to be liberated, and will be liberated by the movement that will be formed, that will carry the dictator. The man's a criminal. He got his girlfriend to the police station, and the other police is his girlfriend. While working with the former director Paul Mulva.
That's been personal.
Hey man, give me a chance, man. I'm speaking is personal. Don't speak for me. Let me speak for myself. I can justify what I'm saying. It was alleged by his wife that came to Paul Mama and said, "Tell Opon Weah to move beyond my husband." I was assigned with Opon Mama as operational assistant. It was alleged by his wife. I said the director of police asked Patrick Sulu.
Who's going to be the head of this movement?
Where the hell the movement will come? The Liberian people will decide. Look, this country need to be. You think we're going to carry complaint again? You think I will carry complaint again? Anywhere I reach with fire, I will reply with fire.
With fire?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No, let me say something. The people have refused to bring the war crime code here.
On Sunday,
anything I say, I can't take it back. Delon is a ball. I'm a man. Yes, I say something, I take it back. Anything I say, I will never take it back. Yes, in my mind.
What do you mean?
He says something and take it back. I'll be attacked. I say I can never say something and take it back. The day I say something and take it back, don't never respect me in your life.
Look, give me to security threat that he will choose to.
Look at you stupid, man. You stupid. You look at people causing point they play more than security threat. Say security threat. Their dog that have become president will have to face the full weight of the Liberian people.
Yeka Kordoba, a member of your collaboration, is a ball.
Yeah, in my mind, because he took what he said back. Because he took what he said back, he should have taken it back. Well, up to him. It's up to him. Anything I say, I can't take it back.
Well, I mean, you never made a mistake in your life?
What you call mistake? Anything I say is not a mistake. I would never make a mistake anymore. If I say anything, I stay my it.
Is it a wrong thing to retract a statement?
My man, I'm not going beyond. I'm not going beyond. Look, if you have, look, I have suspended my membership. And I will leave. Look, let me tell you something. come January, I'm going to leave the ANC, I'm going to leave the CPP. There is a movement that will be formed to liberate this country. We will not have people throwing rack and people don't throw rack.
Was there anything wrong for
I'm not here to discuss on Modelo. I'm here to discuss.
So anyone that subscribe to your ideology of giving
you
fire
subscribe
for
to
fire,
it. You
giving
think
fire for fire.
James Goodell Flomo ran for his left yesterday. You know that, right? They will start flocking you around.
It's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing, right?
Yeah,
it's a normal thing, right? When you have an irresponsible man that become a speaker,
so
when you take your, hey, let me talk, man. You give me a chance. Hey, give me a chance, man. I'm speaking. You think I'm going to take it back? I say you're irresponsible. You think I'm going to take it back? I say you're irresponsible. You think I'm going to take it back?
So how do you intend to get your security man out?
Oh, my security man?
Yeah.
Look, we were getting, they were taking me for the private security to this president, the dictator, this criminal.
On Recolba, you said there's a movement that's going to be formed.
I'm not going to tell you the movement.
No,
I am saying to the Lebron, don't ask me that question. I'm saying to the Lebron, when the movement is formed, there will be people to speak for the movement. There will be a movement that will be formed to liberate Lebron. We're not going to have jokers. Look, Lebron politics is not about chat room. Lebron politics is not about Facebook. Any people are jokers.
My question
give me a chance and let me talk, you see. Look at your stomach. When you are talking, give me a chance, let me talk.
So the question is...
give me a chance, let me talk.
I don't want you to the question.
Let me talk, then you...
Go ahead.
No, let me say this.
No, let's get back to the question.
The Liberian people will have to be liberated.
Are they enslaved?
They are enslaved. You look at one joker going to go make music. The people say can't receive petition. You there making music for your girlfriend? We're joking here. We're joking here. So them is a dog. Ambassador Weah is a dog.
Why?
You can't retract it. Tell me to retract it.
Why will you be leaving
Tell me to retract
and the
it.
CPP?
Look, I'm not here to discuss the ANC.
No, you just said you've been leaving the ANC.
I will leave them right. I went there. I went there. Is that my right?
Is it because they are not chunking?
I don't owe them.
Is it because there's no fire?
But they're not ready to liberate Lebron.
No people.
Hey, my man, give me a chance. Let me answer the
Yeah, that question.
How long will you continue with
his son will never be in peace. Their dog will not be in peace. Ambassador Weah is a dog. He will not be in peace.
Is that why you leave your door outside the
Oh yeah, you saw my dog, right? Open. That's my dog. I will call him my dog. You saw my dog? It's a dog.
It's denigrating to the president.
Denigrating to who? They joker?
Are you afraid of your life?
They joker that passing around sleeping with, most of the men he giving job to.
Are you afraid of your life?
Afraid of my life for what? If I be afraid, when I come here, I'm here. Hey, you speak like that. That's how I speak. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to. No. When we form the movement, give me a chance. Give me a chance, Mr. CDC man. When we form this movement, you will see a lot of bodyguards.
So, look, back to my question. You just said in this interview that you will be leaving the ANC and the CPP.
January, I'm going to leave the CPP and the ANC.
What's the reason?
My reason is that when there, I can take my support.
Is it because they are not?
I don't know. Let them go ahead with a political party.
Do you see them as just another group?
I don't see them to be nothing. I see them to be people that if the Lebron decide to vote for them, Lebron must vote for them.
Is it because they are not ahead to your
I don't know. It's because you journalists have become a pay agent and you are not pushing the message.
By whom?
By this president.
How do you know?
By this president, by the dictator, by the dog.
There's an allocation.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, we're going to be paid. We're not going to put a microphone to your
mouth. Give me a chance, man. The final message is Ambassador Weah. Ambassador Weah. Because you are a dumb-headed person, you got nothing in your head. You know what to do. You simple around to go to rack. But let me say this: I would never take a complaint to this speaker.
How do you know it was the president that said it to the general? What is the allegation?
When the thing happened in Grange, they came out. He was not aware. What did he do here? Let me talk now. You want me to talk?
Go ahead.
Don't cut me off anymore.
Go ahead.
When I'm in the air, I'm very dangerous.
Go ahead.
Don't let me land.
Go ahead.
Look, when the issue happened in Grange, what did he do? He awarded the superintendent with a pickup. Now so. Ambassador Weah is there a common dictator and a dog that need to be investigated by the Liberian people. And he will.
Why can you wait for your 6 years?
Why you can't say here and wait there for Malasa? He said, yeah, no, if you have to meet Ambassador Weah leave today for the Liberian people to be liberated, he will leave. By any means, don't ask me by what means. By any means.
What are the options?
What are the options? The option is for
if he leaves today, what are the options?
No, the option is we'll get people. You can be a better president than the dictator and the dog. You can be a better president.
Personal security has not been relieved upon your demand. What will you do?
No, they will arrest everybody. They will arrest myself. I'm ready now. You think I bring complaint to you again? And you think I bring complaint? I'm not going to bring complaint. When they hate, will hate.
What do you have to hit with? What do you have to hit with?
When the time reach, you will see.
I think it's a new play on the
When the time reach, you will see.
Yesterday, Senator Delon said,
when the time reach, you will see.
You don't know what.
When the time reach, you will see.
When
the time, I'm not going to retract it. When the time reach, you will hit. Yeah, when the time reach, you will hit. So you go and tell you know who close so you can put money in your pocket. Because money, you know what happened?
It is an allegation.
Hey man, give me a chance, man. You for nothing journalist. You know what happened when Senator Dillon went to my house?
No.
I see him say, why you drove Honorable Colbert Weah Jeep? I will call by seditions to pledge my support. And you know when Dillon came and said in my living room, you know, he posted that he came to my right?
Yeah.
When he posted like was setting, they called me and put a phone speaker. I said, we're not going to stop there. Drive behind me, go and see who am I going to talk to. Jalen drove behind me and see who I was going to talk to.
Who was the person?
Oh, he know. He know.
The final
message is the final message is they don't have man on your own. I said for his attitude, I become a poor attitude. The final message is Ambassador Weah is a dog and he need to give the LeBron country back to them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah? So let him give the LeBron country back to them.
What you make of that statement from Honorable Yeka Kolba? He is calling the president a dog. He is a dog. He needs to give the LeBron country back.
Look, man, quite frankly, you know, as I said, I'm not one person who will encourage anybody for that matter, you know, to desecrate the presidency by raining insults on the president.
But the man himself, he has desecrated the presidency.
Agreed. I mean, even according to our religion, we are asked to respect our leaders. I'm coming somewhere. I also told you, people usually concern themselves with the reactions of, you know, certain people and not caring to know what precipitate, you know, the reactions. If, for an example, you just look at me quietly and insulted my mom, and people out there, they didn't hear you insult my mom, but I knew you insulted my mom, and I react in a manner like through a physical attack or assault, people will not look at what you did. They will look at what I did, my reaction, right? But what prompted that reaction is very important. When Zidane, let me throw your memory back to one of the World Cups. Head-butted, when Zidane head-butted Nazarazi. That was something that cost him the world best that year, right? Mm-hmm. Now people are like, Zidane, you are a professional man, you should not have done that, and blah, blah, blah. But later Zidane tell us that this guy insulted his sister. And you don't know how much this man lost his sister. So you are not the one to determine his reaction. It is unfortunate that Yeke will be venting his plea in this manner, right? But I'm challenging the speaker to be a speaker of the House of Representatives, caring about the well-being of each member of the House of Representatives.
Okay, let's listen to Honorable Abraham Dara Deron.
Okay, Senator, we'd like to welcome you to this brief interview, and specifically, you've been criticized by Monserrato's Superintendent Florence Brandy.
You want to speak louder?
You've been criticized by Monserrato's Superintendent Florence Brandy of forming a development council without the inclusion of any member of the county's leadership, specifically those in local government. What's your response to that?
You know, there are times you don't want to waste your time to respond to certain things. Because of the kind of environment we are, it takes away your time. I am surprised that Florence Brandy still does not understand the function of the office of superintendent of a county. When I was contesting last year at the senatorial debate, Florence Brandy, sitting as superintendent of this county, was in CDC t-shirt in the audience at the debate at Bental to ask me questions why I want to run to be senator as superintendent against the code of conduct. So it is a mentality that Florence has, along with a bunch of citizens, that will not see reason to prevail. The county development fund is budgeted, is a law, and anything for the county through government money goes through the county development fund through the budget, supervised by the Minister of Internal Affairs through the respective superintendents across the country. So county development fund go through county officials. My salary, what I do with it has nothing to do with Florence Brandy sitting as superintendent or any county official. So when I say I would take $5,000 every month and give Monserrato County the rest of the money in keeping with my word, I constituted a county council, 3 persons from each district. There are 51 persons on our council. They meet regularly. They have done projects, interventions across this country, many of which you from Front Page Africa know about and have reported about. But Florence is on the campaign team for Thomas Fowler in violation of the code of conduct, and she joined a group of people to endorse Thomas Fowler, at which place she made that loose, reckless, and uneducated comment. It's a disgrace to Monserrado County to have such a lady who is very beautiful in structural look, but very dull in performance.
Dull in performance, you care to underline some of her weaknesses.
How many persons in the county know the new superintendent? She's not working. She's only kissing George Weah's feet and running behind Thomas Fowler. Yeah, 1 minute, please. You understand? I want the superintendent to tell me and the county what they did with the development money for Monserrado County. I'm trying to get something in. I want the superintendent Florence to tell me in this county, the people of this county, what they did with over $600,000 US from China Union. She presided over that money for the county, and they agreed to dish out $20,000 United States dollars each to each lawmaker for this county. Let her account for that money. Let her tell me why she running behind Thomas Fowler in the name of having T5 when Thomas Fowler is on record for signing for county development money in the name of T5 Institute. County, this is Ministry of Internal Affairs. County Development Program, payment voucher, $20,000 for what? T5. Thomas Fowler Vocational Institute, T5. County development money go to a private institution, T5. Now this is payment voucher. One could argue that it's just a voucher. It was not honored. But no, it was honored. It was honored by the check. Payment of check. Echo Bank check. Here's the check. The check number. Everything here is the amount.
What year is that?
This is 2012. This is some of the things that led to the forced resignation of Grace Kpan as superintendent of this county, when she was insisting that this was wrong way to use county development money to go toward private institutions owned by lawmakers. They brought her here and harassed her, and she was forced to resign. They sent her to jail, but for the intervention of the court, they held her in contempt for doing the right thing. Thomas Fowler. Now this is a check. Thomas Fowler. This is Thomas Fowler's passport.
This is more like they responding to Thomas Fowler.
Excuse me, sir. They were talking about county development money. When the dull, dumb superintendent wants to know what I'm doing with me, and they're asking me for utilization of my salary. My salary has renovated the public toilet at the toilet facility at the Matadi Mosque in District 9. My salary has done hand pump in Port River for the community there. I don't live there. My salary is doing interventions in Tituri area District 1 with public schools and public toilet and public facilities. That's my salary. I want Florence to join me to ask Thomas Fowler and all of us to make 5,000 or less, so we can give the money, rest of the money back to the country and the people, so that we can elevate our public facilities for our people.
Since you were elected senator, when was the last time you called the superintendent or requested a meeting with the superintendent? Maybe to get in touch or get on call?
The superintendent has refused to meet with the senator of Monserrado County because she is a CDC and they are under instruction not to do anything with me. The superintendent is a CDC who joined CDC after Ellen left power from Unity Party and believes that kissing George Weah and Thomas Fowler then feet will earn her job. So she has refused to meet with this office, every attempt, when the only time anything about Monserrado County Development Fund money business came toward me was during the heat of COVID-19, when they brought resolution for me to sign authorizing $200 expenditure of county development money through lawmakers' offices. And my issue was, no, it will withdraw that money. We should give it to the county health team. Lawmakers got nothing to do or should have nothing to do with using county money to fight COVID-19. We will politicize it. If we must withdraw that money and I must sign that resolution agreeing, then that money should be withdrawn and given directly to the county health team so that they can utilize it to fight COVID-19. That resolution never came back to me. And that money has been withdrawn. No accountability. Florence Brandy is not concerned about that. China Union gave this county over $500,000, about 600 and some more thousand. They sat, divided that money.
What year?
Last year, before I became senator. So each lawmaker from Monserrado County was given $20,000. But then the one for this office was put on hold just because Geraldine had died. Peace be to her ashes. And that the successor, but I have asked Sir Joseph. He said go to Thomas Fowler because he's a chairman. I have asked Thomas Fowler 63 million times about the $20,000 allotted to my office from China Union. 63 million times Thomas Fowler promised to call caucus meeting and I should ask the superintendent. I have asked Akarius Gray, all the caucus members, including what her name, Dixon Sibo, we should have caucus meeting. So we put these things in perspective. I respect financial property. That is why even when I was a staff, an early administration, the UP administration sought to do county development fund so as to centralize or decentralize some development with the counties. It came to my mind that the counties were suffering from fiscal management, appropriate fiscal management, because superintendents, since Labrador were founded, superintendents were appointing their own accountants and controllers at will. The county only had superintendent and assistant superintendent for development. There was no layer in between there from a presidential level to manage the fiscal affairs of the county. It was based on that I developed the thought as staff, chief of staff to Senator Joel Howard Taylor, and I drafted a bill. I did a draft act to create for the appointment of assistant superintendent for fiscal affairs in the 15 counties. And that thought made sufficient sense to my boss lady at the time, Senator Joel Howard Taylor, who sponsored it, submitted it on the floor, and it made sense to the Liberian Senate. They passed it into law, sent it to the House. They concur with it, with the Akarius Gray them there, concur with it, and made sense of it, and sent it to President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and she approved it and published it into her bills. Today, President Weah himself has appointed 15 persons to manage the fiscal affairs of the county. That's how we see things. Fiscal discipline, fiscal property. This superintendent and Thomas Fowler can't even account for $600,000. Can't account for county development money. But she want me to give her my salary to add to the one that they're squandering? No. Hell no.
She's also accused you of lying, quote unquote lying, and doing nothing for Monserrado and quote on.
You interview her?
No, I read the okay, and she called on people of Monserrado not to vote for people of your kind.
Yeah, that is why people of Monserrado will vote for people of my kind so we can get rid of people of her kind. Because had we not had George Weah as president, Florence won't be superintendent talking nonsense.
She was superintendent on Madam Sirleaf.
Yeah, and that's the same reason why the county didn't develop. These people don't have no innovation, they just want a title. I don't want this title. I want to work. I want to serve. And my service should not be service to my pocket. That is why I have demonstrated 1 year that my pocket is not what I came to serve. I've reduced my salary. And I'm asking my colleagues for us to reduce ours so that we can put it back in the country and the people. Florence will not do that. Thomas Fowler then won't do it. But they will wake from the people This is Thomas Farah's passport.
Has she made any
He
request?
himself went to the bank to cash this check. County development check for TIFA Vocational Institute. And then you say you have a, how can you rob the county for your private venture and expect me to clap or collaborate with you?
Has she made any?
Honorable Dara didn't say he want to work. He want to work. He not just want it by title. He want to work. What you have to say? Folks, our phone lines are open on 215-578-1050, or you can call us on 215-824-8124.
Delon is ready to work, and he has demonstrated that from day one since his ascendancy to the Senate. And even as we go to the election in December, this is what I would say. I am not saying Delon will win. To say so, I must be one God to predict the future. But what I am saying and asking the Liberian people to do is to vote Abraham Darrows Delon. Because this man has demonstrated so much
that he has passion for the job.
So much passion, honesty, and a willingness to be on the side of the people. Never in the history of our Senate, never has anybody demonstrated what this young man has demonstrated in just 1 year. Okay? So people carrying money in wheelbarrows to make people to vote them and what have you, reject them. Those people don't mean well. Because if you were to, as a good Liberian, ask yourself, why are these people bent on wanting to remove this man? What is the bad thing that he has done? Nobody can tell you. The only thing they will say is that Moswara is our stronghold. Stronghold. Those are rhetorics, and we shouldn't give it credence. We encourage people. People follow us. We have followers. People listen to us. You run this talk show. You got a lot of people that follow your talk show and they listen to you. When you come here and say, look, vote, you don't necessarily have to be on the ground to cast a vote. Your vote is just a vote. You know what they're saying now? The citizens are saying that we are internet.
Let's take another caller. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Daniel. Good afternoon to you guys.
Good afternoon.
Thank you guys for the stimulating discussion. You know, every time I listen to Abraham Darrows Delon, I feel so inspired. And sometimes they almost bring tears to my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When I speak, you can see the sincerity and honesty in a young man. And the young man have demonstrated that, you know. And so when you ask people from the other side, this guy has been in the position just for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
What has this guy done wrong to be removed? They don't give any reason. The only reason they give, most of the country belong to us. We want our seat back. That's the only reason they give. The young man is honest. The young man is telling you, let's reduce our salary so that we can give the money back to the poor people, so that we can help, advance our medical facilities, our schools, our hospitals. Let's put it into law. Is that wrong? What is this young man done wrong? People want to go against this man. If we have 3, 4, 5, or 10 of dollars belong in that country, my brother, I tell you, Liberia will be a change place. Liberia will be a change place. I just want to this afternoon call on all our people. Let us support this guy, and that is why I'm going to pay for one of the police centers to support this guy, because he has shown it. He's a reservoir of wisdom, and he's a role model for our children. And so I'm going to support him. I just want to thank you guys for the discussion.
Thank you. You can keep your call coming on 215-578-1050 or 215-824-8124. You hear from this caller.
But that's exactly what I was saying. Why do you want to remove this man? Is it because he's doing the right thing? So in our country, people just don't want to do anything right. This administration came and started doing the same old things we condemned yesterday, and they are even doing worse. right? I heard how a young man was beaten up because he parked his car in front of the Lord Mayor's fence. Imagine as though we're living in the dark days. These things have got to stop. And let me say this. I am a member of the International Justice Group that is headed by Councillor
Jerome Verde.
We are clear.
Carter, what is your name and where are you calling out from?
Yeah, my name is Sekou Dukle. I'm calling you from Phoenix, Arizona.
Go ahead, Sekou.
Well, the caller just left the line. He said it all. I'm just going to add to what he said. And we really want to change our country. Let us get more law in our house so some of our people can change their mind and do the right thing for the country. But it has been so long, the corruption. If somebody's standing in the middle of the government and telling us this is the way, let us reduce our salary and pay our hospital and pay our schools for the $4 million we make every year from our salary. And the other lawmakers are not following that.
That is tremendous work. For someone to reduce their salary and that amount to $4 million a year. Can you imagine $4 million a year being contributed to each of those high schools? You know what's significant those $4 million will do?
Are we ready to build our country or are we playing games? Are we ready to build our home or we just want to be talking and play a lot of games and lies? Let us look at the law. We have to get 10 the law. The law will be changed. Not just by talking, by action. Please, my people, I love your show. I just called on it. And I'm one of the proud supporters of Mr. DeLong. I'm even going to have a program going on in my community to invite him so he can speak to the people there. The message is clear. The message is clear. But our people have to learn. Why we can't be honest to be our home? Why we want to be lying? It's time to spend money. If you got money, why you can't spend it and do better things for the country? Only election time you spend money. They can't give nobody money. He's not giving nobody back a rest. He go and talk to his people. The message. Listen to somebody he campaign. The person, we don't want money. We don't want money. We want to listen to you. We don't want money. The mayor, I'm sorry, the honorable man don't carry money with him. And the people really don't want money from him. They want the thing he's doing is more important than the money.
But then if you don't want money from ADD, you want money from Thomas Fala, then that hypocrisy.
If you want the money, what will you? The people have the money. Why they can't spend it to change the city? So they have the money. But because somebody talking. That's why they're bringing the money out and showing that they got money. If you have the money, why the people should suffer in the country? First of all. So I just don't want to take the whole time, but actually, let us preach the truth if we want to change that country. Let us not be sitting back. Even the speaker needs to join the law. Robert Chairmen needs to join the law to preach the same message. You can be a speaker in the house, the man talking the truth, you can join him to talk the truth. How you will change your country if you can say the truth?
You're right.
Yeah, brother. So have a blessed day, man. Have a blessed day. My name is Sekou Dukle from Phoenix. I love your show. And I have to express myself this way to tell our people. Let us not be playing game with the country. Let us stand for Liberia and build it in a sincere way. This is not play. So for so long, the country is one of the oldest countries in the world, not only Africa. But we play game. People go there, they want lies. And other one want to tell you the truth. We don't want to follow the truth. We want to follow the lie.
Thank
this
you.
Country. We can't continue to follow the lies. Let's follow the truth.
Thank you.
What I can, let's follow it. Let's go behind the truth, not lies.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
You listen to that caller.
So you see the way the callers are expressing their frustration and their concerns. Let me tell you this.
You need to increase the volume.
Our people, you see the way the callers are expressing their frustration, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hear some guys saying, Franklin Wesseh, who just left Liberia and have been in the States for a few months, saying that people in the diaspora, they are internet Liberians, they will not come down to vote directly. But have you forgotten to know the influence of diaspora Liberians? Flip the pages of your history. Flip the picture of history. Do you know how many times people in the diaspora have
how many million that we send to the country every year?
The political foundation of our country. Sit down there and say, Mwazi, Emmanuel Kamara, who has a family that he is feeding. I will not talk about me because I'm just here and have not started working. I'm not supposed to work, as a matter of fact. But those who are here rooted and have their families back home, that look up to them for daily bread, tell me that they will not listen to them. And there are people that have voting cards. Besides, this thing is not about, my brother. Sometimes we we must be true to our conscience. Do you know one of the reasons I have not joined a political party in that country? I am a very, very conscious young man. I will not be somewhere and see things, like going, astray, and I don't talk. When we say we are a political party, let us look at what are we wanting to achieve and how do we work around that.
All right. Now take another caller. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
My name is May Sawyer. How we say?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay. Oh my God, Abraham, I am telling you that we said are sitting by you there. So God will bless you. We said. I saw you in Abidjan with Yule. I saw you with Joshua, and today you in telling the Liberian people the truth. Indeed, you are a patriot. You are a well meaningful Liberian. Thank you, and we say, and God will bless you. Continue the good work. Continue the good work because indeed you know the truth. You know what Liberia stands for. And today you on Abraham show and saying the truth. When I first started the show, I saw you. I said, read the comment there. I said, I know this guy. That George, you have a best friend here. I know him from Abidjan. But when I start following the show, I said, wow, George is finished. If Liberian people cannot listen to you, we said they will never, ever listen again to anybody. That's all I have to say, AB. Thank you.
Thank you. So that caller, she just called to tell you thank you.
Yeah, I'm honored. You see, do you know what is happening now with Senator Dillon? Senator Dillon is like a reincarnation of George Weah. You know where George Weah entered politics?
Yes.
The guy was like a magnet. As he moved, people followed. I remember I hosted Weah at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions on 3 different occasions. And every time he went there, we had to do major repairs, renovation. The whole place will get so crowded. Is that what is happening now? By the time you mention the name George Weah, people meet it with distaste and disdain. The only people who celebrate him are seditious. I mean, do a survey. The reason why they were also celebrating because it is through him some of them found themselves where they are. And I must commend him for giving young people an opportunity to serve in government.
But young people who are not prepared?
But these young people, instead of using that as a kind of a stepping stone to prepare themselves, even if they were not prepared, and make sure they do the right thing because tomorrow we will be gone and they who as young people will still be left to confront the realities of the future, will want to be praise singing and reducing themselves to choristers. Look at the way even as some assistant ministers are behaving. You just want to be a chorister everywhere you go, you chanting battle cries like one court. When you are supposed to be concerning yourselves with crafting policies that are aimed at lifting the country, getting your people out of abject poverty and bringing them to a level of economic sufficiency. You are there battle crying. Everywhere you chanting battle cry. And here is it. When you don't do that, they begin to look at you and say, oh, this man is not clear. Now, if you as a conscious Liberian will say, look, even though, look, let me say this to you. I want to be on record. Sometimes I say to myself, is this the man that I've voted for? For president?
President Weah.
I ask myself, is this the man that I really devoted my time voting for? What has happened? Who told you that Weah is not doing some good things? He is. But do you know why people are not seeing those good things? The many bad things that his administration is doing have overshadowed the few good things he's doing. We will not be happy that he's doing road connectivity in the southeast. That will enable the marketeers over there to bring their market produce to the mainstream capital. People will be happy, right? But why are people not even discussing that? If you look at what is happening now, the only people who trumpet Weah's goodness are seditionists. What's about the undecided voters? Those people who don't belong to any political party. What are they saying about your administration? Who is ever going to respect your administration if you continue to shield corrupt officials? Who?
You were saying something that Abraham Darrell is the incarnation of President George Manuel Weah.
Yes, a reincarnate. Look, the thing is, look at Delon now. Delon doesn't move freely in Liberia. Everywhere Delon sets foot.
Every day, according to what Darrell's done tell me, yes, every day he has been invited to some kind of district,
yes,
some kind of community.
When we were supporting Weah for senator, when we supported Weah for president, when I went against the son of the president, who was also my friend, Robert Salim was my friend. I know how I landed in jail when I led the CEO protest in 2014. I know how I landed in jail because people saw me as a credible voice who was shifting, opinions in Weah's favor for the Senate. 2014, I was arrested and detained for 2 days. I remember when Weah entered and we decided to parade with him from Somalia Drive, from his place, ERW Junction, all through Somalia Drive. Can you imagine people, trekking from that whole Somalia Drive and coming and going to CDC party headquarters? Are you picturing what I'm trying to running a circumference from ERW Junction all the way to Somalia Drive and then through Freeport, Central Memorial, and then to CDC party headquarters? To CDC party headquarters. When I left the procession, I left the procession when we got at 9th Street because obviously I was living on 9th Street in his house there. Man, my legs could not carry me. The next day, I couldn't walk. My legs were swollen. And I was asking myself, did I actually do this? I did subconsciously. That is how passionate we were to see this man ascend to leadership. And then he's just disappointing.
But this man got to the Senate. This man never presented a no tangible before his election to the Senate. And he never told the Liberian people what he would do. To the extent he went to the Senate, he never did nothing absolutely he was bobo. Then you guys saw that. You guys supported him for the presidency.
Yes, great. So the excuse that some of us provided was that being a senator, he was just like restricted to a county. That he did not prefer any bill or whatsoever is a weak argument from some of us. But the way we did, we had a way of shielding him from all of those criticisms. We're like, look, the Senate is about lobbying. This man is influential and he's using his influence to lobby in a place, and we managed to survive those debates. But here is it. Give this man a chance to be president. He has become president. He is keeping
3 years.
He is keeping a Nuabudki. I have to be personal, but let me just say this. This guy name always gives me problem because he's not a Liberian. At LCC, a graft institution that is supposed to checkmate corruption in our country, is being headed by an alien, a foreigner, a man who lied under oath, who is supposed to be spending, his days at the South Beach or probably sent back to his country of origin, is still serving as an LACC boss. Are you serious? Are you serious? And then you said you arrested people that was just said, look, it's just a flash in the pan. You say you're trying to fight corruption. You are dishonest about your fight against corruption. You are not going to get anywhere. Liberia is not going to get any better if Weah does not change course. He's got to change course. I am not saying he has failed miserably. I am saying he is fast failing. And if he does not come to himself to realize where he came from, and he thinks he can thrive on the gullibility of the Liberian people to continue to misgovern you have himself to blame. Because here's what will happen. He might not be elected 2023. If Weah does not endorse the establishment of the War Crimes Code or the full implementation of the TRC recommendations, our Franklin Wesseh will be monumental, very tall in 2023. This time to campaign against him. If Weah does not remove Ndibisi Nwaduboke from our graft institution, our anti-graft institution, as head of it, our Franklin Wesseh will also be very tall in campaigning against him 2023. I did not campaign against him 2017. Trust me, I didn't. I will be very tall, and you must say, look, what can only you alone do? I have people of like minds who look up to me for direction. I love Weah as a friend. I love Liberia more. I am not going to enslave myself to my conscience for being just a friend to Weah. For too long have I kept my silence, hoping this brother will have a rethink and change course. Look at public workers. I mean, not being paid, some of them for 7-8 months.
For the mayor own private security, the ERU.
What is that?
The ERU have not been taking pay for 3 months.
Do you know what you're doing? You place yourself
at risk.
You place yourself at risk. And then everywhere, almost every day, protest now has become the talk of the day. So what are most of the people are doing now? Oh, every time we protest, something will come up. You know about the health workers when they protested? I think he released some money for them, right?
The mayor said the health worker them that went on strike. Now take the quarter. Quarter, what is the name and why are you quarter?
Hey bro, how you doing? I'm calling for
good.
MC. Yeah, I'm calling for North Carolina.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, my name is Lanford.
Yes,
what is going on in Liberia is very bad. I mean, first of all, let me say thanks to your guest, your studio guest. I know him very well from Ghana, but I think it's been a long time. I know him through Mami Nile. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, my brother. That's
Yeah, yeah. So I appreciate your thoughts concerning Liberia. First of all, let me say something. You see the reason why Julius Malema is popular around the world, especially in Africa, is because of what he's doing. When the ANC came to power, they forgot about their own people. But then among the many politicians from his childhood, he wasn't Nelson Mandela and what have you, the rest of the people. He felt that the blacks were left out, so he stood up. And today, Julius Malema is well recognized, is well celebrated around Africa. So if you stand for your country, people are going to look up to you like what Didon is doing. For each time I watch Didon, I shed tears. You know, the reason why I'm calling is because there's a guy who met me at my job. He's from Gambia. And this guy, he asked me, where you from? Because of my accent. So I said, I'm from Liberia. He said, wow, that's a great, Liberia is a great nation. So I said, but why you are saying that? The man began to explain why you were explaining. He started crying. So I said, but why are you crying? He said, during the time when things were difficult in Gambia, in the 70s, in the 80s, my father left Gambia and went to Liberia. And today, my family, they are proud family in Gambia because of Liberia. Because he went to Liberia, he also was able to create wealth in Gambia, and today a lot of people depending on my family in Gambia. So when I see Liberians in America, I shed tears. Yes.
Wow.
Because in Gambia, we used to call you Americans. In the whole Africa, we did not know that Liberians could travel out of Liberia. But because of the war, I saw Liberians in Gambia all over, and today I come here. You myself, when I came to America, you myself working here, I feel hurt. Because Liberians were people that never used to travel. The only place they used to travel, even, you say, I can tell you at that time, when I visited my father in Gambia, in Liberia, American embassy used to beg Liberians just to get a visa to come to America. Sometimes nobody want to go to an embassy to get visa. So if I see Liberians around the world, I shed tears. And they got begin to cry. And myself, I started crying. I said, why? The reason why we are suffering today is because our house, the legislature, is not doing anything to help Liberians. They always in bed with the president. And as a result, nothing goes on wrong, nothing goes better for the people. Can you imagine? People cry. I just called Liberia today. My friends, one of my friends who and myself were in Canada today, they were telling me, my message day we haven't eaten. And because of that COSA, something we got through COSA sent with, I was able to send a plane out just to find something to eat. You know what I'm saying? And when I sent a plane out, guys begin to tell me thank you. Even the text it sent me when I sent it to you, Abraham, you cry. So these are the things our people going through. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm sharing tears, man. It hurt a lot. It hurt a lot.
Yeah. You know, this thing bring tears to me. Liberians and Liberians, for where we came from and for where we are now. I mean, every African country, even West African country, they are all putting a muff on us as Liberians.
I'm not cutting you off. When you were taking the course, I was just reading through the comments. One or two persons, I see one person tapping Tifa. I see another man, oh, we are the ones that don't mean well for our country. We don't want to give Joshua a chance. Another one said, oh, who are you? Who knows you? Now, when you look at all of these comments, nobody has to tell you that they are seditious. You know that they are seditious. My thing here, whether you are a sedition, you are a Liberian, just as I am a Liberian and not belonging to a political party. But let us be really objective and look at what's happening in our country. When we say economic vibrancy, it's not when food is on your table and then there is no food on your neighbor's table. You saw the other brother that called just now and he broke down and started crying. He broke down and cried for his friends for the way they lamented to him how hungry. You know what it means when a big person, a person who knows himself, will cry for hunger? Our brothers and sisters are thinking, but you know what's happening? I always told them, show me an official of government. For every official of government you show me, Mwazi Kamara, I will show you 10 past officials of government. Let us do it here now for the show. For people, I will do that. You know why? I'm only trying to tell you no condition is permanent. Today, the Liberian people give you their trust. If you betray that trust and they take it from you, you will be like nothing. Madam Salif today is over there. All her followers, people that were there, that were falling behind Rob Salif, where are they today?
Keep your call coming on 215-578-1058 or 215-824-8124.
So if you think because you are with the ruling establishment now, so all is well, here is my message for you. If it is even 12 years that this leadership will be in power for, 12 years is not forever. I want you to know that this too will come to pass. It has come and will pass. This leadership, just as other leaderships came. Or maybe you want to be, like some of you are saying, CDC at 24 years or 100 years. Whether it is 100 years they will be in power for, the 100 years will come to pass. It will pass. Some of us might not be around to see the end of it. Whatever the case is, history will be our judge. We stand, I am one person. When I speak to the ills of this society, people listen. You know why? Because I had an affiliation with the ruling establishment. I had and still have a good relationship with George Weah. He remains my friend. But what I'm just saying, the way we idolize, this man, as if to say, he cannot do any wrong and everything he does is right. Or because when we disagree, for those that are within the bandwagon of the CDC, I can understand if they don't join critics to criticize the system. Yeah? But the best you can do is you just keep your mouth shut if you know you don't want to highlight the societal ills. than to look at a wrong and want to call it a right, because posterity will judge you. The country does not belong to Weah. It does not belong to any specific individual. Liberia belongs to all of us. How many of us have ever sat to ask some of these hard questions? We claim to be the oldest republic in Africa. Got our independence since 1847, right? What do we have to show? We do not have a fitting road connectivity from Cape Mount to Cape Amos. To go from Cape Mount to Cape Amos, you must do that in the dry season, and you spend no less than 2 days on the way. If you are going during the rainy season, you must spend weeks, if not a month on the way. From 1847, we claim to be endowed with so much resources. Rubber, cocoa, anything you plant in Liberia can grow. And that is why they named Liberia at the time the Green Coast, because of its rich soil. We can't even grow our own staple food. Every time we import in rice. And this is a national song that we continue to sing every time. And then our brothers and sisters will say, but it is not a George Weah's problem. So we can hold George Weah accountable. It is not his problem, but he told the Liberian people he will come and make a change. Right? If you look at the budget allotment, look at the current budget for this fiscal year, look at the budget appropriation to areas that are supposed to be heavily, allotted, you have taken. I'm not just understanding the way you guys are proceeding. And when you say these things, people look at the way. And let me say this. I am a proponent of the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code. And I owe no one an apology. I want that country to do just the right things. Let us hold people accountable. If Franklin Wesseh is culpable of any crime, let him face the full weight of the law. That's where I stand. I do not support Kabina Janet. That is why when people went up to go and speak on his behalf, I was never a part of it. But hell, I had serious reservation with what the administration did to, remove Kabina Janet as a justice. Do you know the kind of message we sent to the international community? Kabina Janet is indicted by the TRC recommendations. On that grounds, I could not vouch for him anywhere. But you came because you felt this man was never in your interest. Eh? Chief justices or justices are people that are appointed by the president, but they do not operate or should not work, by the whims and caprice of the president. Elections commissioner is a person who must be appointed by the president, but he or she must not work by the whims and caprice of the president, because those are high-level integrated institutions that whose decision, is really paramount to our existence as a people. You remove Janet, you celebrated that. Now
then now they are going to the Muslim community, the Islamic community. They are saying yes, 1 year vote.
And that is why we look. For me, it's not my business to tell the Liberian, the Muslim people, do not vote this party, do not vote. The only thing I can say is that you be the judge. That is why you have conscience. Your decision that you make at the polls. You know what has been responsible for our HO problem in that country? Our HO problems in that country, my brother?
No.
It is not unique to George Weah. George Weah is not the only man that came and started doing wrong things in the country. But our problem has always been the decisions we make at the polls. The people see us as hungry people, as hungry as people are now. They carry rice, they carry money. Some of them, they bind their voter cards. Trucking, voters trucking. Another electoral violation. How can you be trucking people from one point to another overnight, people who are not residents of those areas, to go and make decisions for those areas? Is it only CDC government that is doing it? No. Did others do it yesterday? Yes. Does it make it right if CDC does it today? It's still no. A wrong is a wrong, irrespective of who makes or commits the wrong. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You said this was wrong yesterday. You will come and change it. You come and you're doing the same thing. How the heck you will be trucking people all over just to go and disabuse their minds, so that they come and vote you vote in your interest, and then tomorrow you turn your back and even spit at them. And people have got to be very careful with politicians. And that is why, I'm taking my time and looking at the political landscape. Because at every given time, the reason why I have decided to verge and support Abraham Darrell's Dillon is just simple. When Dillon was contesting for the first time, he appointed me on his strategic campaign team. The reason why I could not openly, like voice for him, I had too many things on my mind. My mom, who has just died, was critically ill. I was looking after her, coupled with the fact that I was having some funny, threats here and there from these warlords. So I didn't want to make myself too public. It was not going to be good for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. But should I have a second thought to support a Darros Dillon? I know who Darros is. You know how we lived on Kerry Street there. We were there for almost 10 years. We know ourselves. This young man is credible. He may have his own flaws, but he's a good person. And you know why? He has made me proud because for just 1 year of being at the Senate, the entire Senate is shaking.
I'm telling you.
It's shaking. When Dillon is coming, people are like, in little gossips. He coming again, he coming again. This is what we want. Representative Yaka Koliba, the only problem I have with him is the way he expresses his anger, the profanity. I don't buy that. But again, look at what is happening to Yeke at the House of Representatives. When you have a House Speaker who is supposed to be protecting each member of the House of Representatives, is behaving as though he is a speaker for the president. I remember when we supported the CDC, the former chairman of the CDC, George Solo, when he referred to former Justice Minister, Honorable Christina Tarr, Councillor Christina Tarr the other time, he said, look, you are supposed to be the Minister of Justice, but you are behaving like the Minister for Justice. There's a distinction there. So when you have Yeke being frustrated the way he is, every time there is stress here and there, you were over there, you heard about a guy who claimed to be his bodyguard that took cutlass. Whether that guy was Yeke's bodyguard. The fact that he took a cutlass to go after a sitting lawmaker. What has been your stance as a Speaker of the House? I hope you understanding. These are the things that when we say our brothers have issues, but here is it. Here is the good news. The Liberian people are becoming conscious by the day. The proliferation of these talk shows, the proliferation of intellectual fora across the country, the proliferations of peaceful assemblies that people can express their opinions is building the consciousness of our people. Our people are becoming conscious. They express that consciousness through the ballot box in some recent past elections, and I know they will continue to show that. The way to determine whether your livelihood is approved by you, the way to determine whether the country is proceeding the way you want it to proceed, the way to determine that you want a change, a positive change, a qualitative change, a change aimed in the direction of placing this country on the right trajectory, is to make an informed decision at the ballot box. And that is why we're telling people, Senator Abraham Darros Dillon, I will vote for him. 2 people I have decided to vote for. I will vote for Senator Abraham Darros Dillon for senator. I will vote for Phoebe Franklin Herons as representative. I might continue to support other candidates, in other counties. But for now, those are people that I will add my voice to other voices to campaign for, because these people really mean well.
All right. So that comes to the very, very end of the talk show. So we'll take your parting statement.
Well, Mazi, you did well to get me anyway. I have been avoiding this kind of appearance with many, talk shows that have extended invitation to me. I've always found some excuse because I felt that there was not the appropriate time to start, speaking out so critically. So most of my thoughts are expressed on my Facebook page, or I do a live coverage. But when you met me just last night, you said, "Oh, Chairman, I have finally gotten you, and I'm not going to let go." I said, "Okay, I gave you my word. I will never renege on expressing my thoughts, my opinions on the direction I want my country to take. I don't give credence to petty talks from fly-by-night seditions, from parachuters, people who overnight are jumping from one political party to another, but wanting to feed from the crumbs from the master's table. I have a thick skin. I care little or less about how you feel about my opinion. I presided over an institution that is a respecter of people's opinions. As CEO, we say, opinions are like noses and everybody has one. But there is just one thing that is unavoidable. If hard time comes in Liberia, when we had gas shortage on many occasions in that country, when the taxi was leaving Broad Street to go to Ray Light or to go to EWA, if the taxi driver said the fare was $100 Liberian, when you enter in the taxi, they don't ask you which political party you're from. They don't ask you which political party you're from to be able to determine your fare. The man has his fare across the board. So when all of us started paying that $100, and even some of our friends who are from the CDC, but were going to bed on empty stomachs, on wrinkled stomachs, and had difficulty with raising the $100 to pay the fare, then the reality of the prevailing situation started dawning on them. That didn't require any insults. For me, you cause you for what? I don't care. Madam Salif was president. All of my good friends were in government. When they asked me to, just pledge support, as close as I was to the son of the president, I took the son of the president on Kerry Street on 2 different occasions, Robert Salif. And he helped us with our renovation over there. I could not support or prefer a Robert Salif to George Weah because of how much belief and trust and confidence I had in George. Today, if the George who I saw will make a huge difference by being a good president is pussyfooting, reneging on the responsibilities for which he was elected, you expect me to be tight-lipped? You must be living in a dream world. I will speak truth to power. I want a better Liberia. My children are in that country. They're not in private schools. I am living in this part of the world at this point in time in my life. It's not a voluntary decision. Today, there are some brothers and sisters who have fled the country for their life. You think they really chose to do that? Who will not want to go home? For me, I know if I want to go home, I can just decide to go home. If anybody wants to kill me or harm me, it's up to you. Because one good thing I know is that death is a necessary end, and it will come when it will come. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all my listeners, all of my followers. That's Chairman Franklin Wesseh. That's how we'll let to go home. I'll see you when I see you.
My brother, you,